Hi, I'm Andrea Berez-Kroeker with the Kaipuleohana University of Hawai'i Digital Language Archive, and today I'm going to give you a very brief introduction of a piece of software called SayMore. SayMore is software that keeps track of the workflow of language documentation, including tracking projects, tracking people, and tracking recordings, and it also allows you to create transcriptions and translations directly in the software. So SayMore is free software available online. And I'm going to launch the software now. And you'll see that when I launch it, this window pops up. And I want to create a new project here today. So I'm going to click this bottom link here. And I want to call this project Otomi Language Documentation. Right? You can name the project however you like, whatever makes sense for your collection. You can give it whatever you like. This project is going to contain within it a series of related recordings, information about people on the recordings, and then also transcriptions and translations of those recordings. Okay, so click OK. And now you see in this window that pops up, we have 3 tabs. Right now we're in the Project tab. There's also a Sessions tab and a People tab, and I'll talk about both of those other 2 in a minute. But for now in the Project tab, you'll see we have a side menu here that has different windows that you can input information about your project. So in this first screen, you'll see it's already got the title, Otomi Language Documentation. Okay? And then you can enter a description of this entire project if you like. I'm going to say this is a collection of recordings made in Mexico in the Otomi speaking community in 2013. Okay? I can also select the language that my project is on by clicking this button called Change Language. Okay? And a new dialog box will pop up. In there you can search for your language. And these are all the ISO codes for the languages of the world. So I typed in Otomi, and I can see that the one that I want right there is Otomi Mezquital. Okay? So I'm going to select it. If I would like to display a different spelling, for example, if I wanted to spell Otomi differently, I could type that in this box here, and it would then display the language name according to however I wanted it to be spelled. Click OK, and you'll see that it lists the name. The language name is here now under vernacular. I can also input my archive's address and the region and the country and the continent. Okay, so I'll do that. Okay. Okay, and the contact person can be you. Okay. So once you've filled in information about the project, you can see that there's some other windows here as well. On the side, we have information about access that you can fill out. If you have other documents that you'd like to link to that describe this project, you can link to them in this window, etc. And then this final window will also show you the progress that you're making on all of the recordings. Okay. So next I want to go to the People tab. And I know that I have several speakers that are represented in my recordings here. All right, so here we are on the People tab. And this button down here is where you click New, and you can add a new person. So for example, the people that you might want to make records for would be perhaps anyone who's speaking on the recording, perhaps anybody else who is in a recording, perhaps a translator that you worked with on the recording, perhaps somebody who originally collected the materials if it wasn't you. Those can all be people here. So I'm going to add a person for the speaker on the recording that I have on my computer. So I know her name was Alejandra. This is my Otomi speaker. Okay, and I put her name in the full name box, and in the code I'm going to put her initials, so AM are her initials. I know she was born in 1979, so I'll put that there. She's female. Okay, I can also select a primary language for her. Her primary language is Otomi, and you can also pick whether this was her father's primary language or her mother's primary language or both. I'm going to select that this was her mother's primary language. And she learned it in the home, so I'm going to type home in this box. And if you don't have all of this information, it's okay. You can fill it in later, or you can leave some of it blank. All right? You can always add information as you get it. Other languages, if your speaker knew another language, you could add those here. I'm going to say that Alejandra spoke Spanish, and she also spoke English. Okay. And you can fill out other information like her occupation, her ethnic group, her education, etc. Okay. So you can see that in this area up here, we've got Alejandra's record is listed here. And then over on the left side, we also have a list of all the people that we've made. So far, we've only made one person. Okay, I'm going to add one more person. So I'm going to click the new box here, the new button here. All right. And we have another person. This is now, I'm going to add a person named Tomas. Okay. His initials too, TF. Okay. He also speaks Otomi. All right. This was his father's language, etc. And you can continue to add people in the same way. And you'll see that now over here on the left side, we have all of the people we've made records for. AM is listed and TF is listed. Okay. By the way, SayMore is automatically saving all of this information on your computer, so you don't need to do anything special to save it. And next time you come back to the project, it'll be there for you. Okay, so now that we've added some people, remember we can always come back later and add more people, we're going to move into adding a session. A session is considered to be anything that's associated with a single recording event. So it could be your audio files, your video files, and your transcriptions and translations. So I want to add a session because I have a recording of Alejandra telling a story about how to make tortillas. So what I need to do is click the new button down here, okay? And you'll see that some information windows pop up here, and I can add some information about this. So first of all, I want to give my session an ID number. I'm going to call this Otomi 001, okay? The title of this recording, I know that it's about tortilla making, so that's what I'm going to call it, tortilla making. Okay. This drop-down menu here has a list of people, and you can see that all the people I've added are here. Okay. So I'm just going to add Alejandra, AM, since she's the only one in there. Okay. And the genre here, you can select from a number of different genres of speech. So it could be drama, formulaic discourse, oratory, for example, narrative. In this case, the recording about tortilla making is procedural discourse. Okay. And I could add more information if I knew it as well. For example, what was the situation that this was recorded in? So this is, I could say that we were sitting in her kitchen, for example, if I knew that information. I can also enter a recording date here. Okay. And I can fill in any other information I have about the setting, the location, any access conditions that are special to this recording, and I can put in a more detailed description of the contents of the recording as well. Okay. All right, so now you'll see I've created my session. Over here in the left, this is where it tracks all the sessions that you've added. And so you see there's the ID number, Otomi 001. There's the title. Okay, and then here's the stages, and this box will allow you to track the stages of the workflow that you've gone through, so you can see how far along all of your recordings are. Okay, but I don't have any files in here yet. All I have is some metadata for this session, and I want to add the audio file that contains the recording. So I'm going to click the Add Files button up here, and I'm going to navigate to the file that I want on my computer. In this case, it's a WAV file called tortillamaking.wav. Okay, and click Open. And now you can see in this box on the upper right that the recording, tortilla making, has now been associated with the metadata for the session called tortilla making. And you can see that the recording is here because of this little icon that is the picture of a microphone. Okay. If I had a video recording, it would be a little icon of a video camera here. If I click on this microphone icon, right, I can now listen to this recording down in this box. Right. So this will allow me to listen to it. Okay. And the other important thing that I want to do is I want to be able to transcribe and translate this recording. So I'm going to go to the tab here that says Start Annotating. If I click on that, SayMore wants to know what method we would like to use to divide the recording into line-by-line chunks so that you can easily listen to them one at a time. And it has a really nice built-in auto-segmenting tool. So I'm going to click Use Auto-Segmenter. Okay. And basically what it will do is it will listen to the entire recording and look for silence, which is a pause, and then it'll divide the recording into segments based on that. So I'm going to click Get Started. Okay. And you can see that now SayMore has turned this recording into 7 small clips. Okay. And you can see there's a little play button here. So if I play this, Right? It'll play this clip in a loop so that I can listen to it and I can transcribe it and translate it. Okay? So as it plays, I'm going to click into the transcription box and start typing my transcription. Okay. And I can also translate it into English over here in the free translation. Okay. And then I can continue to work through all the segments, transcribing and translating directly into SayMore. Now what's great about SayMore is that you can also export it into a number of different formats that are very useful. So for example, you can export the transcription and translation into just a plain text file, and then you can go in and edit that for printing. Or you can export it as an Elan file. So if you use the software called Elan, this will import directly into Elan. Another thing that's very useful is right here, you can export these as Audacity label files. So in case you're making a dictionary, if you'd like to export Audacity label files, then you can go back to Audacity, like in the previous video, and you can import those in order to make automatically segmented clips. Okay, so that's basically an overview of what SayMore does. If you're working on a project where you have lots of files that you need to keep track of and that need different actions done to them, like recording information about the speakers or transcription or translation, I'd recommend checking out SayMore and seeing if it can help you stay organized. Thanks.